Hello, everybody. Let's have some fun tonight. We might have some guests joining us tonight for a little bit, maybe about a half hour. Um, we'll see if anybody is awake that might come on board. We just had a busy day with a lot of information. Very, very, very exciting talk tonight. Every Tuesday, we have a science call, an international science call. And tonight's call, I mean, we have people from Japan, Australia, of course, Canada, and Europe. Um, in fact, tomorrow we have a call in the afternoon in England, out of England, based on England. But it was an incredible call. It was dealing with metabolic health, okay, and pain. And the real key was metabolic health and pain really dealt with insulin resistance. So if the insulin resistance, you may have heard the term, you may not understand the term, you didn't really want to go through science class, but the reality is insulin resistance is real. And when we say insulin resistance is real, guys, one of the things that's happening is that 93% of Americans are suffering from a metabolic issue. Okay. Or to put it another way, the way Tufts did, Tufts said that only 7% of adults in America are cardiometabolic health. In other words, only 7% of you are healthy when we look at heart and the metabolism. Beyond that, you start looking at this, and what we see here is what? You're looking at the fact that 93% of us, we are adults, yes, may not always act like one, but we're adults, have a metabolic issue. And we start really get into it. We start really going crazy. We start looking at the leading number of deaths, our heart disease, and Alzheimer's and stroke, because that's all the same thing, isn't it? All right there. And then we get into the lungs, then we get down to the gut. And then everywhere with hypertension and diabetes. And the thing is that people really get waggy about is that as quick as you may say insulin, everyone goes, well, I'm not diabetic. Well, it didn't say you were diabetic. Guys, in your body and everybody's body, we have what? We have insulin. We all have insulin in our bodies. Okay, that's just how it is. It's everywhere. Insulin is involved in over 100 functions in your body. Okay, so you have to unthink what you've learned in what I call the illiteracy of 2025. The person that's illiterate in 2025 isn't someone that can't read. It's someone that refuses to unlearn, to relearn what they need to know and learn. Okay, because what's an example, George? Give me an example? Okay, how many of you have heard fat makes you fat? It's poppycock. Fat makes you fat was simply, how do I say this nicely? Fat makes you fat was simply marketing in order for the synthetic oils, initially Crisco, which you know Crisco, the original Crisco, not the one that's owned by Smuckers. Now, the one that was originally out there that was created by the two guys, Procter and Gamble. You've heard of them. You know how they got together? They married sisters in Cincinnati. You know what they were before that? They were a candlestick maker and a soap guy, and they were out of England and I believe Ireland. So there's the rest of the story. But the thing is where are you, John? I see that you're coming in. I got to find you. All right, cool. Is that those guys created Crisco, and Crisco was hydrogenated cottonseed oil, okay? And they use that idea to fat makes you fat to get facings. and demonize fat. Now, once he did that, and they had the Heart Healthy from the American Heart Association. Now they're validated as heart healthy. So then what they do, they were geniuses. Their market slogan was, "It's digestible." Wow. It's digestible, tells you squat. But what they did do then to make it even more popular and more used was they started to have bake-offs and cook-offs sponsored by. They had contests sponsored by. So it became the main ingredient. So people were accepting, oh, I can use this. Look at I can make. Look at I can make. You know, as a swimming coach and having swum some outdoor long course ocean water, lake water up in the Midwest, swims that water was flipping cold. We used it on our bodies for oil, and we called it gluten slider. But it was a layer of insulation. It was a layer of insulation. But in the world of foods, they demonized fat, butter, lard, and ghee to replace it with this. And that myth still hangs on today. Part of what the hydrolyzation did, where you can take an oil and solidify it, they created margarine. Da, 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 da. You know, it's a the brown container. I can't believe that those are all marketing campaigns of the Crown. You know, Imperial, the King, you know, da, da, da. Okay, fine. Those are all marketing.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Exactly. Because it ain't. It ain't, and they got it so to trick your mind, trick your tongue, trick your body. And if you ever look at butter, and this is Midwest corn in the cob season, butter time, okay, butter, which is nothing wrong because we can make butter. It's easy to make butter. I mean, easy. Take some whole milk with some cream in it, and take the cream out. You start blending it, and guess what? You've got, hey, there's John. Hey, there's my buddy John. I got two Johns. I got the John. Woo-hoo.
What's up, Jordan?
Hey, I got two Johns. I got a J-O and a J-O.
Hi, John.
And an N.
So
I got an H and an N, John. But
right.
What happened
And there's another J coming if she shows up.
If she shows up, yeah. If she shows up. So anyway, what happened is that when this went on, now if you put butter on the dish and you put margarine on a dish, you're going to see that the butter will melt.
Butyric acid.
Yeah, this kind of goes nice down to a nice liquid. Easy to spread. Meanwhile, the stick of margarine will sit there and sweat. It's worried. Something might happen to me. But that's the difference between that. And just think how that works in if you digested it.
What was it, margarine? If you add another hydrogen molecule to it, it turns into plastic?
You hydrogenated it. Exactly. You solidified. And that's what we're saying. We start talking about peanut butter, which I go on a rant on often. That's what I think I will right now. It sounds like a good time. So choosy moms, choose. All right. So if you are going to make peanut butter, what would you, John H., put in your peanut butter?
If I made peanut butter?
Yeah, if you're going to make peanut butter, what would you put in it? Exactly, peanuts. You would put peanuts.
Besides peanuts, other than that.
You'd put peanuts in it.
Yeah, because, well, it's funny because what you do is you take the peanuts and you put it like in the juice or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so you make a juice of peanuts, but yet we don't call it nut juice. We call it peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Isn't that something? Nut juice. Yeah, we're going to talk about that another day. But anyway, but you take peanut butter, and now if you go to a ball game, if you go to a game or
I don't want to talk
Oilers game or whatever, and you order a bag of peanuts, you get peanuts, shells, and salt. But they don't put any
hydrogenated oil or anything.
Yeah, or sugar. They don't put sugar in there. Okay. So in this jar, Juicy's Mom's Chews, or even this monstrosity here. Is the
I
store
used to
brand.
get those by the jar too.
Yeah, look at this. You used to get this by the load.
Don't tease me like that.
So one of the things is what happened is this is what I asked people, because in this one there's hydrogenated rapeseed oil and soybean oil, and in this one there is hydrogenated vegetable oils. I don't know what a vegetable oil is, but there's rapeseed oil, cottonseed oil, and soybean oil. So here's my picture.
I was that guy you'd see in the gym sitting in the corner on the bench with the jar of that with the spoon.
Don't locking it up. Yeah. I can imagine that. I really can. But
A tablespoon, not a teaspoon.
Yeah. But the thing I asked you guys,
I don't know what that's like at all.
If let's just say you just took some peanuts and you put it in a blender or a mixer and that, right? You made that. And then, but you wanted to follow this recipe. So on your bread, I'm not going to talk about the kind of bread I want to have, but whatever. You put on your bread, you put on your peanuts, you put on your peanut butter, right? Then would you pour on rapeseed oil and soybean oil, cottonseed oil, palm oil? No. But why is it in here?
Nope.
Because it's a filler. Guys, people don't know that if you go to the store and you look for true peanut butter on the shelf, if all there is peanut butter, it's about twice the cost of this. You know why?
A lot of people don't like it because it's already separated and they don't want to have to mix it back together.
Exactly. It's separated because that's what naturally does. That's what you naturally do. And it makes that lucky sound. I get that.
Yep.
And it costs twice as much. So they're paying for the filler.
And then they put it on the bread. And then what else do they add to it?
Yeah.
More sugar because they're putting jelly or jam.
And it ain't mom's jam, it's store-bought jam. Right? I mean, they're not
in the
yeah.
In the 90s, my brother and I looked at sorry.
Go ahead.
My brother and I looked at the nutrition box, whatever, on look at Crisco and then look at the back of the peanut butter, and there's like maybe a 1% difference on some of that stuff. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to put like Crisco on a sandwich, but that's just gross.
That's what it
anyway,
is. That's really what it is.
It's the same process stuff.
Exactly. So now you guys got me off trail or whatever. So now we talked about oils. So there you go. And interesting thing, I've done some more research lately, and on palm oil.
Hold on, George. Let me find it real quick. I'll get you back on track.
Yeah, thank you. on palm oil, that we are ingesting like 17 pounds of palm oil a year.
Wow,
that's a stopper. And
individually,
when was the first time or last time you bought a bottle of palm oil? That's how much you're ingesting in all the foods. Now, not necessarily not us.
About peanut butter, maybe.
It's not. I haven't found it yet, but I'll bet I will. I will. But yeah, so palm oil is the deal. So these seed oils are kind of a thing. Lately, we've been doing a lot of research and looking at metabolic syndrome and metabolic health, and doing a lot of research on Alzheimer's. And dementia is the blanket term, with Alzheimer's being the small one. And
just in case you guys don't know what Alzheimer's is, a lot of people know it's called as old timers.
Yeah, used to be called old timers, right? It used to be, And I remember when I was in another industry and I was working with people and their planning and their monies and stuff, and we talk about maybe some long-term care, and everyone else says, "Oh, it's so expensive. It was like $5,000 a year." Well, it now costs $15,000 a month.
Dude,
right?
it's so much cheaper to go on a Royal Caribbean cruise line than
Yeah,
it is to
exactly. And people are doing
do
that.
it
People
here.
are actually doing that. Now, my
What's
son
that guy
Brian,
doing with the swimsuit on?
yeah,
Right.
and it's backwards. But anyway, it doesn't really matter if it's a Speedo, right, John? But anyway, so
Yep.
my son Bryce said I could have the garage, but it won't be heated. But I've heard many times when we're doing planning like that, financial planning for the future with people, they go, the guys are usually the macho, like, well, I know where my gun is. And rah, rah, rah. And I go like, yeah, I hope you remember where the bullets are.
Right.
After you find your remote control in the refrigerator.
And
you
your
think
passwords and where your keys are to your safety deposit box, and
and someone stole it. But the whole thing is that it's insulin resistance. It's all about blood. It's all about blood glucose. Too much has gotten to the brain. The myelin sheaths are starting to glycate. They're starting to rust. If you think about this, too much sugar causes things to rust, internal organs to rust, glycate. It literally rusts and wears them out.
That's why I have a bunch of these little air tags. So if I lose it, I know where to find it.
Good man.
just covering your bases.
There you go. John's always thinking. Jonathan's always the man that's thinking. He's
So I
smart.
spent too many years trying to track it down because I was losing my mental stasis because of insulin resistance.
Insulin resistance, exactly. But the one thing though that in the recent research, guys, is that we're finding that Alzheimer's is reversible. Alzheimer's is reversible.
It is.
It is reversible. It requires
All jokes aside, Alzheimer's and even the first stages of dementia are reversible.
It can be reversible. It can be mitigated. It all deals with insulin resistance. It deals with insulin resistance. So getting control of that crazy hormone insulin will manage so much of this and take care of so many of the problems. And that's why, well, all joking aside, we're very serious about what we do because we see people's lives get changed and saved on a daily basis because of the protocol that we utilize. And we have to have some fun, otherwise we'd be crying all the time because we just see the tragic stories of life and death and agony and family suffering. And like, my mom is suffering from Alzheimer's right now. She's 96. I know that if I would have known about this 10 years ago, I would have intervened. She wouldn't be on some of the medications that created the issue, and she wouldn't be in the hospital bed. Right? She's not even in the hospital bed. She's at home. But when we start talking about the issues, what's driving this is the fact that we're eating too often. We are eating too often. This is part of the explanation of why we have these issues. John, you were a bodybuilder, weightlifter. I mean, you make the Hulk look small. Yeah, and I mean, serious. I mean, gargantuan muscle. But we were told to eat 3 times a day and snack to keep our metabolism up. What boulder dash? What bad advice? And they're still giving it out today.
Carbo loading.
And carbo. Yeah. John, look at that. I'm gonna drop the look at that. Look at that. Gargantuan.
Dude, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That was after being diagnosed.
Holy smokes.
You look like a Charlet bull that got put in a microwave.
See, that was after being diagnosed with diabetes and doing what they say, taking the pills, taking the shots, eating less, moving more. I mean, 2-3 hours in the gym a day, plus HIIT training, high intensity interval training, because I didn't want to break down muscle, but I wanted cardio. So even still doing that, I still couldn't ward off the disease and got worse and worse and worse.
Exactly. I mean, it's just
Wow.
and it's because we eating all the time, snacky. That see, originally
back then I was eating like you're saying, 5, 6, 7 meals a day. But the thing is, I was eating on average of 10 to 15,000 calories a day because of the way I was taught with football and powerlifting, that you got to eat so often and eat so much because they wanted me to be so strong and maintain a certain weight for football. So that's why I had so many calories. So yeah, what I know now, I'll think back onto, now I know why I became diabetic, but I didn't know that 25 years ago.
and they didn't either.
Right.
I don't think they know it. And how many don't know it today?
I was about to say, yeah, they don't know today either.
That's why we talk about it. That's why we talk about it, because we see it, we've lived it.
They don't know.
Yay, the censors didn't catch that one either. Yay. But the fact of the matter is, we joke about this, but we have to, right? But here's what we're trying to teach you guys. We're trying to teach the public that the reasons we have these metabolic conditions is the reason we have these metabolic conditions, it's not genetics. And the one thing about genetics, I'm going to tell you that metabolic brain syndrome, on Thursday nights, I talk with Cheryl, and we talk about Alzheimer's and identical twins. These two are identical twins, 8th grade graduation, identical twins, identical twins, until one developed Alzheimer's.
Yep.
At 52.
And here's the thing: if it's genetic and they're being identical twins, why do they both not have it?
Exactly.
And people all the time, well, it skips generations. It skips. I'm like, no, it don't.
No.
Because like when I developed my type 2 diabetes, I was told it was because it ran in my history. Yeah, it ran in my dad's family. It ran in my mom's family. So we had family history, yes. But I was the only one diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at that time. And that was in 2000. Now, since then, the only person that had diabetes in my dad's family at that time was my grandfather, but he passed away from cardiac arrest in 1988 when I was 8 years old. So it skipped my dad and went to me if you go off of what they say being genetic. Now, from my mom's side, my grandmother ended up developing pre-diabetes and eventually turned into type 2 diabetes, but that was after I got diagnosed. And this is my grandmother, who's now 90.
Yeah.
And you lose John, or did you get off?
Yeah, I think he fell off. Yeah, he fell off. But the thing is that they will say that it's genetic or that it's familial. But what they don't look at is we ate the same foods.
Right.
We ate the same foods on the same schedules. And so you, while were diagnosed and they were diagnosed later,
correct,
you loaded it up like a dump truck.
Yeah, I look back at my diet back then, and yeah, I know why I became diabetic. I was drinking on average 2 to 3, maybe 4 liters of Mountain Dew a day, plus the junk food, plus the candy, plus the carbs. I see how I developed it now, not 25 years ago.
Right. And so what we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that in the modern day food environment, because of the gradients of the sugar, the starches, the ultra processed food, and now you start seeing that, which is ultra processed food. What that means is it's been manipulated so that you are manipulated to be addicted, to whatever it is. You're addicted to it. How many times, if you go to the store and you've got little kids with you, they know that they want the orange crackers that look like fish. You want them, and you do too. You eat them by the handful. You don't just eat one nummy, right?
When I lived back in Utah, there was a factory just right across the border in Idaho where, Pepperidge Farm. And I used to be able to go, they have a store there at the factory. You can go in and buy the mismatches, like little broken ones or whatever. And you can buy the bags for like $3. And we would do it all the time.
And enjoy
you could tell when Quaker Oats was doing their Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
The whole city smelled like Captain Crunch.
And that's in Cedar Rapids. John's up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, which has the great big monster manufacturing thing right along the river. So it's easy for them, cheap for them to get the corn and
along
grains.
the river. So you decide to go swimming in the river, you might get Captain Crunched on you, huh?
What you're really going to get is swim. What you're really going to get is bit by a catfish, because they're big catfish sitting there, because they love eating that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
They love eating that corn, those big monster blues.
I'm sure they do. I mean, if that study with rats would go to the sugar water over cocaine water, I mean, I can only imagine fish would do the same thing in the river.
Yeah, and they get pretty large, real large. So, but yeah, so when we start talking about insulin resistance and some of those things, guys, isn't it interesting that we just got done talking about pain, metabolic issues, and the pain receptors with insulin resistance? That was what an incredible talk that was. And the idea of how pain works, how insulin resistance works.
I wish he wouldn't have lost his power, because that would have been a lot more information we would have got out of that.
Yeah.
They've been having some really good talks in the last 3 weeks. Really informative.
Well, that is because we're actually getting the word out. People are actually starting to see what was really going on, and they get the word. And these key people, like the anesthesiologist tonight, they're oh, what? And so it's just going to get. It's going to get better. It's just going to get better. It's just that simple.
There was over 500 people on this call.
If I remember, it's 542 to be exact. If I remember right.
Yeah, and every Tuesday we have a science call. That's another expert on the topics of metabolic health, and they're all about the science and the education and the correlation, educating anybody that wants to get on. So if you're seeing this, when you see this, you get an invite. We all post notices on there. Feel free. Our mission is to educate you about metabolic health and help you not suffer the way we've suffered. I mean,
also, on top of that, George, if you wanted to go to tonight's call and you didn't have a chance to because you're at work or whatever, I did share it on my profile, so you can go back and recap it if you didn't want to. So
yeah, perfect. And the Iceman, and part of his story in his recovery is he had foot ulcers, diabetic foot ulcers. Okay. And we'll talk in a minute on that. And John had brain fog, had difficulty in his joints getting up and down stairs, getting up and out of chairs, walking, just simply walking. He doesn't have that issue anymore. Brain fog, his personality. He actually smiles and laughs and giggles now. I mean, so.
And the other thing too about John was he was a swimmer. So, they always tell you swimming's good cardio because don't put the pressure on the joints on it. Okay, don't put the pressure on the joints, but yet he developed joint problems. Even though he's a swimmer.
Yep. And I carbo loaded every practice so I could just pound it out. And
yep.
You know what? One day, and then the whole rest of the week was shot because I didn't have any protein to build the muscles back up. It was awful.
I actually made a video today about the lies that we're getting told, so I'm going to share that to Facebook real quick while we're doing this.
Very good. Yeah, my talks were today. I did talks on on the number that most people don't know and they can track, which is tracking your insulin resistance, your triglycerides. Folks, if you when you listen to this, you want to know a number, you need a ratio. You need to know what your triglycerides divided by your HDL is and what that number is. You want that lower than 2. Now, if it's not, don't freak out yet. Get a hold of one of us because we can help you with it. But if you have lab results from before, from your most current, if you can go back and find your triglycerides divided by your HCl, that will help you start plotting it. Now, John Dankert over here, my swimmer buddy, great thing about him, in 90 days, lowered his triglycerides by how much? How much did you lower your triglycerides, buddy?
333 to 206. So it's at 130 something, 120.
Yeah, over
high,
100
120.
points. Over 100 points.
In 90 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
How much did you increase your HDL?
Yeah. Well, I gotta look. I can't remember.
That's one thing people don't realize. Because if you drop your triglycerides, odds are you increased your HDL, and that's what you want to do. You want your triglycerides down and increase your HDL.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what you want. But I'm excited that he's got that going. And the shirts are your clothes are looser, right?
Yes. Yeah, the gut it's firming up. So and like you said, the walking is not as huffy puffy and just like more sure of yourself when you're walking, like before you had a problem.
Yeah.
Like going up the stairs or down the stairs. So
the confidence and morale boost.
Totally.
I love it. So what did you do John, what did you do your TikToks on today, on your videos? What did you do your videos on today?
Me?
No, Frost. Did you do your videos today?
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I got some training to do.
Okay, perfect.
First one I did today, I did mine on what the link is with insulin resistance and gentlemen with erectile dysfunction. And then the second one was about the lies that were being told on everything that I posted to Facebook.
Perfect. I love it. Good. There's a couple that I'm going to do tomorrow that involve money.
Okay.
And one is on, I saw it. One time there was hepatitis. Remember hepatitis was a big thing? You guys were alive when hepatitis was a big issue, maybe not, right? Yes, no? Okay. So hepatitis was the big deal. And they came up with a medication. That medication cured
hepatitis. Yeah, hepatitis, what it ends with. Itis.
Yeah, itis. But hepatitis, they actually had a cure for it. They actually came up with a cure, a pill that cured it. And I forgot who manufactured it off the top of my head, but I'll have that research tomorrow. And they made a gazillion, maybe it might have been Pfizer, but they made a gazillion dollars. Okay. They dominated the market. They were the guys with it. It really cured the hepatitis.
Hepatitis in general or a specific one?
I think it was C, the one that was the big play. Yeah.
Yeah. Type C, okay.
That fixed it. There wasn't anymore. And then the next year, their sales went to pretty much zero.
Gee, I wonder why.
And then one of the financial institutions said, hey, curing disease is not a good financial claim. And And so
It's not
that's
a good
why,
transactional one, but it's
yeah. And so that's why just causing people to think, which is really what we do, and a lot of what we do, we are looking at the whole idea is why. How long have they been working on pick a disease, pick a condition? How long have they been working on whatever? How come?
Pfizer's been in company now for what, like over 100 years?
100 years.
Cured how many diseases?
Yeah.
I'm just saying for a friend.
Yeah, same for a friend. The idea is this. If they have all that time and all these scientists, you would think, and they did it once, but you would think they could do it on some other one rather than come up with something for psoriasis that's going to rot out your netherland, which literally. I would rather have the psoriasis, rather than that rotting. I mean, give me a break.
Right.
I mean, so.
Well, those.
It's a business decision. It's all business. It's all cash.
Well, if you're watching TV and you see those, like, here, try this Zakamuki Waka Waka. And then it's like, but you've got side effects of this and this and this and this and this and this and this.
When the commercial's so long and the majority of it is listed as side effects, you got
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, we refer to it as the television.
Yeah,
television. And so when we start looking at,
you don't believe us. We can show you by how much programmed we are, because you go ba da ba ba ba, and when you finish it in your head, I don't care who you are, you finish that in your head no matter what. So.
Yeah, it's paid programming to program you. You're programmed to buy, purchase the addictive foods. And not only that, people don't want to believe it, that's fine. But people are taking those shots, those GLP-1s, right? And if the GLP-1s in the process, what they do is let me back up. Physiologically, internally, you already do produce GLP-1. Okay, you already do that. That's a natural biological function that you have. These synthetics are to try to supercharge the satiety, so you aren't going to crave as much food. You're not going to want as much food. That's kind of the deal. So then because you aren't eating as much because you're not as hungry in theory, then the pounds go down, which is the only thing people ever think about is LBSs. Okay.
Right.
Well, if you were a snack food manufacturer, would you sit idly by and watch your sales and profits go down because people aren't eating as much because they're taking a pharmaceutical? So the pharmaceutical's profiting from this, and you're losing, if you say market share, consumption, profit. What would you do? Would you be okay with that? Or would you do what they did?
When I worked at the cheese plant years and years ago, they didn't care about the quality of the cheese. They didn't care how much. All they cared about is how much we could increase our profit shares. And even then it was for the shareholders, not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the people on the floor.
Yeah. And so
fortunately, that company, the profit sharers were the people on the floor, because if you worked there, you're part ownership of the place. So that you did benefit on that. But the actual shareholders, along with the board and all that, got a bigger portion of it than we did. But
sure. Yes. So what the snack industry has done, the food industry has done, they've hired a firm in California with scientists to re-engineer the food
with GLP,
exactly, to make it so that that the new food, the new bioengineered food, bypasses the GLP-1. So it's a synthetic beating a synthetic. And how many people have you heard lately that they're on whatever the medication is, the O's, the W's, not all the whatevers, they're stopped losing as much weight?
I actually had a lady the other day on one of my lives going off on me about how the GLP-1 is a shot that you can't, you don't make GLP-1. It's a synthetic shot you have to get. And I'm like, really? I mean, yeah, you can get it that way, but it's a natural hormone. It really is a natural hormone produced in your intestines.
Yeah, there's actually two
That
different.
just shows you how many people don't do their research or don't. They just
Yeah.
take the words of credentials or
Yeah, there's actually two different GLPs in the gut. There's one at the beginning and one at the end. So GLP-1, GLP-2. You want to get in? There's actually GLP-1 resistance.
Yeah.
And then another side effect will be once the people get off of the GLP-1, they may have actually killed the natural process. Now, if it's killed the natural process, think about what's going to happen when they stop both of it. So now you have none. And if you have not, let's just play the scenario. If you haven't changed your dietary intake,
wouldn't that be considered gastroparesis?
almost, it's going to be like not a good day at the office.
Yeah.
Is that in the process of losing that ability to make your own, okay, and to make your own, but in the process of that weight loss, 40% of that was lean muscle
or bone density.
If you came down 30, if your scale says 30 pounds and you have 40%, that's 12 pounds of muscle. John, how long did it take you to build, either one of you, how long would it take you to build 12 pounds of lean muscle?
Well, let's see. I started lifting hardcore when I was a freshman in high school, which was 93. And I graduated in 97, got diagnosed in 2000. So yeah, that was 7 years of training. But granted, that was on a bad diet and not really know what I'm doing either. So now that I know what I'm doing a proper diet and all that, if I could, probably 4 years.
4 years. So you could do it in 4 years if you took the proper diet. But if it's the modern day food environment, which most people haven't changed while they're going down and getting their Ozempic face and starting to look like Shar-Pays, the thing is that what they're going to look like, because fats, the insulin's going to take it and look for a place to put it, and there's no muscle for it to go to.
And that 4 years is going to be complete natural. No performance enhancing anything. Just
straight clean food, not ultra processed food, not seed oils, right? No sugars. It'll be good sugars, but it's not going to be maltodextrin. It's not going to be that kind of stuff. It's not going to be seed oils, right? It's going to be good protein. It's not going to be farmer. It's not going to be pond. It's going to be real. There's going to be real fish. It's not going to be.
It's 11 o'clock. The door's locking.
Okay, good. Okay. Guards are in. Okay, so that's an inside joke, or outside. We're in. But the whole thing is that exactly people are not going to have the chance to recover, and now they're going to be lost. It's going to be just like if someone that had gastric bypass surgery or something like that. I mean, once you've lost those fat cells, now where's it going to go? If you haven't changed your food environment, if you haven't changed your dietary habits, you're going to be worse than you were.
Well, that and people don't realize how important it is to have the muscle, because your muscle soaks up. It's a glucose sink. That's what soaks up your glucose out of your bloodstream. So if you don't soak it up, you don't use it, it just sits there and becomes toxic, and then that's when you start
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. And that's when you start needing shoelaces for your pants. You need more elastic. You need Omar the techniker.
you start seeing guys pulling out the steel come along cables. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Getting a new belt.
So when you start looking at all these guys, I mean, the insulin resistance is a deal. It's real, and both Johns are passionate about helping you. So if you see them on a live, if you see them on a video, you reach out to them. They have the knowledge, they have the information. If they don't know the answers, they will find them for you. But we all are proof that a protocol that is patented, that is food, that has a 90-day money back guarantee actually works. Now, here's the question I'm asking everybody is that 90 days from now will be 90 days, right? 90 days from now will be 90 days. The question that we have to anybody that's watching this, would you like to feel better in 90 days than you do now? Would you like to feel better 90 days than you do now? Great. If you would, you have zero risk and all the opportunity because you get all your money back. The only thing you're scared about is and if you want research, if you want peer-reviewed science, laboratories, we've got it all. We can give your doctor where to look us up in the physician's desk reference. They won't know that we're in there because they're not being paid to make you healthy. They are paid to maintain your symptoms. That's how they're reimbursed.
And here's another thing too. If you go talk to your doctor about this and you show them in the PDR where we're at, and you show them what it is, they read it and they look at you and say, "Don't do it." Find yourself a new doctor because they don't care about you. All they care about is the paycheck they're getting from the pharmaceutical company.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I said it.
Yep, you did.
I said it. I went.
I love it when you do that. So, guys,
the truth hurts sometimes. It really does.
Yeah, and I love you guys. We had so much fun to get together, and so have a great night. I've got to go jump onto another platform for a little bit and annoy some people. Yeah, I got to do that too. So, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody that's on, and have a good night.
Have a good one, brother.
Absolutely.